This is Sports Sound live here on BBC Radio Scotland. It is full live commentary to come from the Nations League as Portugal play host to Scotland with our commentary team of James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Well, Scotland right now on one of the worst runs in the national team's history. One win since last September's victory in Larnaca against Cyprus. And that was against lowly Gibraltar. Even that was a struggle. It's their worst run since one win in 10 at the end of the original Alec McLeish era, the start of the George Burley tenure. And they had a run of one win in 11 under Bertie Vogts towards the end of the German stint and the start of Walter Smith's time in charge. So currently, Steve Clarke absolutely desperate for the run to come to an end. It's in one of the most difficult places as well. Flower of Scotland. Scotland fans in good voice up in the heavens, off to our left here in the Estadio da Luz, the home of Benfica, and tonight the home of Portugal, one of the giants of world football. Portuguesa, the national anthem of Portugal, belted out by the players down there. The Portugal players wearing the red tracksuit top, Scotland in the navy down there. Just ready for the handshakes with the officials and with their opposite numbers. The 16th meeting between Portugal and Scotland. Scotland have won 4, Portugal have won 8. That Scotland have never won away to Portugal in 7 previous attempts. It's the first time they've met in this country since a friendly in November 2002. Bertie Vogts' side were beaten 2-0. Pauleta scoring both goals on a wet night in Braga just before the era of Ronaldo. And it was pretty good too. Rui Costa, Luis Figo, Couto. Some fabulous players down the years, particularly over the last couple of decades. And think of the great Portuguese sides of the 50s and 60s as well. Eusebio, who as a statue outside this very stadium. One of the best, but there have been plenty since then. The side that won Euro 2016, of course, still fresh in the mind. They've won this competition as well. They won the inaugural Nations League finals. As the two sets of players break away from their pre-match photograph. Steve Clarke sticking with the 11 that started against the Poles on Thursday night in Glasgow. So Angus Gunn in goal. Back four of Ralston, Hanley, McKenna and Robertson. McLean and Gilmour sitting behind McGinn, McTominay and Christie. And Dykes leads the line again for the hosts. Diogo Costa of Porto is in goal. It's Wolves. Nelson Semedo at right back. The middle two in defence. Ruben Dias of Manchester City beside Antonio Silva, who plays his club football in this stadium with Benfica. Nuno Mendes of Paris Saint-Germain on the other side. The midfield three, Bernardo Silva of Manchester City, Joao Palhinha of Bayern Munich, and Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United on the other side. The front three, Pedro Neto of Chelsea, Rafael Leao of AC Milan, and Diogo Jota of Liverpool is through the middle. Just about ready to go then. We are way up high in the heavens here. It's one of the highest vantage points, I think, in European football. And Scotland are going to kick off in their change colours, the very pale light blue kit. Portugal in the red shirts, green shorts, red socks. And the hosts will shoot, as we watch from the back of the main stand here, right to left. And that is the end, being protected in this first half by Angus Gunn in front of the Tartan Army. And away up in the top tier of the standoff to our left. The Italian referee just about ready to go. It's been quite blustery in Lisbon today, pretty warm as well. As the ref blows the whistle for the first time, and it's rolled back by Kenny McLean all the way to McKenna, who fires it forward left-footed, flicked on by Gilmour. And it breaks into the midfield already for Bruno Fernandes, who moves it back the way. And it will be touched back there by Joao Palhinha. And out to the right-hand side for Semedo. There are going to be periods, James McFadden, I would have thought tonight, where Scotland won't be seeing much of the ball, maybe chasing shadows at times, but it's so important to keep their concentration.
Yeah, it is, and I think, there is, that acceptance that you're going to have to do a lot of work off the ball. You always do anyway, but you're against a side that will knock it side to side. They'll put it into midfield. We know how technical they are in the midfield, all over the pitch, to be fair. We know the speed they've got. It's important that, yes, we do go and put pressure on as much as we can, but we do that and go in numbers and don't leave gaps that they'll easily exploit, because there's such a talented group of players that it'll be a long night if Portugal then find those breaks and get the early goal. And
well, they're attacking already, and the little through ball just about made its way to the boot there of Bruno Fernandes, who found himself round about the penalty spot. It was slipped in on that right-hand side, in behind the centre-back. Unfortunately, the Manchester United player kind of just snuck under his foot and goes right through to Gunn.
Yeah, and he was unmarked. He makes a run from midfield, and we spoke about how good they are in the middle, across the pitch. There's no point saying in a certain area. They're brilliant all over the place. But Bruno Fernandes, we know he likes to make late runs. There has to be someone matching that. Or if you're passing them on, make sure that the centre-backs are aware, because there was no one near him, and it did slip under his boot. A better touch, he's in, he's about 8 yards out. You expect it to finish from there. So that's an early warning.
Yeah. It was just at the start of the second minute, Portugal threatening for the first time. Meanwhile, some good defending down here by Anthony Ralston. He was being faced by Rafael Leao down this left-hand side. Ralston pinched the ball back off and then knocked it off the Milan player and out for a Scotland goal kick, as Ralston wins a throw-in this time off Bruno Fernandes on this near side. And James wants to stick with Bruno Fernandes, so we'll go with that for you, James, as that goes out for a throw-in, and Ralston took it quickly, but the ref's actually going to have to stop play because there's a Scotland player down right in front of the referee, Billy Gilmour. He's back at his feet now, and it's played short to McLean, who rolls it back to McKenna. And out to Robertson on the far side. It's going to be interesting to see if Anthony Ralston gets a run in the Celtic team now. I believe Alistair Johnston was injured playing for Canada last night, so I don't know how bad that injury is, but Ralston might actually get some first-team action at his club in the games to come. We shall see. It is Portugal in possession over on the far side. Little short ball over there by Antonio Silva, the centre-back, who's gone into an advanced position there. Scotland win it back. Here's McTominay on the far side and wins the free kick left of the centre circle, and they've taken it very quickly as McGinn stretches his legs down that left-hand side. Paulinho comes to meet him. Still it's McGinn, level with the penalty spot. He wins Scotland in their first corner of the evening's really good play. It was a quick free kick and it's paid dividends. They've got a corner here, and this is exactly the kind of situation that they might be able to prosper from.
Yeah, it's brilliant from McTominay initially to win the free kick, to play the free kick early. And look, it's not eye-catching stuff, John McGinn running down the line and getting us a corner, but he knows exactly what he's doing. He drags the team up the park, he looks up, there's not very many options in the middle, and he plays to get the corner. It's a really good run from him.
Scotland corner then from the Scotland left. Instinct into the 6-yard area, comes off a Portugal head and behind for another Scotland corner. So a second chance for Billy Gilmour here, out on that far side. And there's a big group of players inside the 6-yard box surrounding Diogo Costa, the Portugal goalkeeper. Gilmour going to put this into a dangerous position. Christie's come as a short option, that's where it goes. Christie picks up left-hand side of the box, level with the 6-yard line, gets to the byline, his ball across is blocked, up into the air it goes, and it pops out over on that right-hand side for Pedro Neto. Scotland win it back, but the ref blows the whistle, and that will be a foul and a free kick to Portugal on the far side. But little optimistic signs there just in that last minute or so.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Gilmour whips the first corner in. Ryan Christie had made the offer to go short, and not one Portugal player had matched him. So no surprise that it happened again. Just a pity that Ryan Christie couldn't, do something a bit more with it. But on the flip side of that, Portugal win it back, and then you have to make the foul because you look dangerous then. So very encouraging, but you can't say, this has been a brilliant start and everything's going to be fine. There's a lot of hard work still in this game.
Yeah, and here they come, Portugal. Bernardo Silva's found himself in a good area, slips it to Diogo Jota, he's inside the box, lifts it up towards the 6-yard area, and it kind of just slices off the outside of his right boot and behind for the goal kick. It is so ominous, the way they can just, in these transitions, just flick into life, and you give Bernardo Silva that kind of space, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, the ball coming into Fernandes, you going, William? I'll copy it, Fernandes.
That's how he says
Bernardo Silva, to Diogo Jota, who's then taking a touch into the box, facing up Grant Hanley, and he makes a messy shot, but again, just showing the quality that they have, speed of pass, the speed of thought, the touch, the awareness, the positions are picking up. They're a dangerous side.
Yeah, Lyndon Dykes wins a free kick though, just about level with the edge of the centre circle in the Portugal half. Just right of the circle, Gilmour's over it, and McKenna and Hanley have gone up towards the box to try and get in the end of this. And Billy Gilmour's got terrific delivery on him, and he is standing over this free kick, left arm in the air, looking for a teammate here. You can see John McGinn's trying to make himself available as it's flicked towards McGinn at the left angle of the box, flicks it to the outside of the area for Robertson, rolls it back to McLean. It's a really good ball, McTominay's there, and McTominay heads home! 6 yards out, Scott McTominay bullets the header past Diogo Costa. He's the main man yet again, and he's the main man in the deluge in Lisbon. An absolutely stunned home support. It's Portugal 0, Scotland 1, and it's that man McTominay yet again.
Oh, who else is it going to be, Liam? It is a wonderful goal, terrifically worked from the free kick. John McGinn is there to put a block on. The ball is for Andy Robertson, and when Andy Robertson picks it up, he's facing up the defender, and he realises that he can't get the ball in. What he does is lays it back to Ken McLean perfectly for him just to step on it and whip it in towards the back post. Scott McTominay times his run brilliantly, totally unmarked. It's a tremendous header, and it's an unbelievable start for Scotland.
Yeah, VAR check is over as well. The goal stands, he was onside, and it's 2-2 in the Nations League for McTominay, and he's up to 11 international goals all of a sudden. And here come Portugal down that right-hand side with Pedro Neto. And he gets it back immediately from Nelson Semedo. He's level with the edge of the D of the Scotland box. It's a brilliant start. Around about the same time the other night, Poland went in front against Scotland. Well, it's the Scots who lead this one. Here come Portugal again down the right with Semedo. And he's looking to get the cross in from that far side over there on that Portugal right. It's Pedro Neto. It's blocked, and Scotland are able to get it clear. They've scored very early in proceedings. There's such a long way to go. But what a great feeling for the Scotland supporters. They're up the other end of the stadium, but they would have seen that coming a mile away. You knew that what was coming there as soon as you saw McTominay get away from his man.
Yeah, because the delivery is outstanding from Kenny McLean, a player that many thought when the team was read out that should have been one that was left out.
Brilliant skill from Rafa Leao. He's in the box and he finds the side net with the left foot. He's got 3 in red and green in the middle, and he's maybe regretting not pulling it back for one of them as he smashes it into the side net. It didn't really look like he was ever set to score there, but it's fabulous skill to shimmy away from 3 Scotland defenders, bursting into the penalty area, left-hand side of the 6-yard area. He hit the shot and it was passed.
Yeah, well, he's top class. Raphael's a top-class player. And Grant Hanley actually does well because he forces him onto his left, and I know that potentially he could get his head up and look for a teammate, but I don't think that's on. I think Hanley makes the angle so that he has to take the shot on with his left foot, and he's never going to get the angle to get it back across Angus Gunn. So it's good defending, but tremendous play again from Raphael.
Foul by Billy Gilmore on Bruno Fernandes down below us, and Portugal take the quick free kick. It's slipped out to the right-hand side there for Antonio Silva, down the right for Pedro Neto. He's got Bernardo Silva at close quarters. He likes to use him as the decoy, chips the ball, big switch to Rafael Leao, left-hand side of the Scotland box. Now he's going for the byline, he gets there, he fires it back towards the penalty spot, and the shot there from Diogo Jota's blocked, and it pops away out towards the edge of the centre circle for Dykes. He moves it back to Ralston, who finds Christie, and the ball forward is won back by Lyndon Dykes on this near side. And now Ralston. Scotland leading 1-0 in Portugal. Ralston's ball's poor though, and it's gone straight out into touch for a Portugal throw-in. Remember, Scotland have never won against Portugal in this country. Of course, they've won a couple of games in this country in recent years, beaten Gibraltar down the road in Faro. And it is Pedro Neto picking up midway inside the Scotland half, just back to Paulinha, then to Semedo. And Pedro Neto picks it up again and then moves it out to Bernardo Silva on that right-hand side. And level with the 18-yard line, Portugal have it. It's played to Bruno Fernandes. He's up against his now former club mate McTominay. Stabbed into the area. The shot in the turn is blocked with Bernardo Silva's effort. Semedo's onto it, rolls it back to the edge of the area. McTominay trying to get it away, and eventually it's Scott McKenna who does just enough to put it out to this near side. It's a period of concerted pressure, this, for Portugal. Leao rolls it to Bernardo Silva. He's in space, left-hand side of the box, chips it back to the 18-yard line. There's nobody there. Antonio Silva picks up the scraps and plays it short to Semedo. Shows too much of it to his man, and Scotland have it back and look at the counter here. Slipped out to this near side for Christie. Runs into trouble. It was well defended, actually, there by Nuno Mendes. And it comes bouncing off Leao on this near side and behind for the goal kick. They just couldn't get that counter going, couldn't get the engine running quickly enough. It's Portugal 0 though, Scotland 1, 11.5 on the clock in the deluge.
Some of the play, Portugal's outstanding. Little 1-2s in and around the box, and they're getting into good areas. But the positive for Scotland is they're getting blocks in, and when they get blocks in, the ball is landing to a Scotland player, and you're then allowed to take a little bit of the pressure off. But as you say, then you get the chance to break and can't really find that opening, that opportunity to drive further up the pitch. But when required, the positions are good. All right, at times they're going to be camped in the box. As long as they can keep making those blocks and give Angus Gunn as little to do as possible, then the encouraging signs are there, but the warning signs are also there.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. Shrill whistles from the Portugal fans there because they felt Scotland were taking too long to take the goal kick, and then Dykes fouls Bruno Fernandes on this near side. They've taken it quickly, and Leao's in space. He's driving into the box, he shoots, it's deflected, and it goes wide for the corner. They're knocking on the door now, are the hosts. Scotland lead 1-0, Portugal corner. Taken quickly by Leao to Bernardo Silva. Fernandes looks up, and he chips it in. It's headed away by McTominay. And back out to the Portugal number 8, Bruno Fernandes on this near side. Looks up, right foot chip ball to the right-hand side of the box. And switch out there. And it's picked up on the far side. The little chip into the area is cut out, and John McGinn picks it up at the edge of the box, but his pass back into his own area, has gone behind 2 or 3 of his teammates. Semedo crosses in, flicked half away. There's ominous signs at the moment here. Bernardo Silva chips it down the left-hand side of the box for Leao. It's cut out. Scotland give it away again through Gilmour this time. The use of the ball needs to be better. You're almost as well just battering into the stand rather than passing it to one of the Portugal players in the what is their attacking third, as Bernardo Silva comes across, and McLean does brilliantly and shepherds it behind. Just got himself between the man and the ball, wins the goal kick. Portugal 0, Scotland 1, and that bit of pressure has just eased slightly.
Yeah, the Billy Gilmour one, I get the point, he's better putting in the stand, but Lyndon Dykes had made a run. They just had to help it up the line. Not a hopeful ball up the line, but one that, you know, a realistic one for Dykes to go on the end of. But you can't, you know, criticise the way Billy Gilmour plays. He wants to keep the ball. We know how good he is technically, and sometimes you're obviously going to make mistakes, but I think that he was better served there just to find Lyndon Dykes, try and take a bit of the pressure off higher up the pitch and get Portugal running back the way, because at the minute they're all running forward.
It's Robertson giving it away this time, but he's won it back very quickly. Finds McTominay, and suddenly 4-on-4 here. Scotland driving forward. McTominay options right and left, shifts it right. It's with Christie. He's just inside the box. Ralston on the overlap. Ball across is cut out. He was behind for the goal kick because it bounced off the defender there on this near side, Nuno Mendes, and then back off Ralston, behind for the goal kick. I think you think Robertson was clipped just there, just as McTominay was racing forward.
Yeah, it was a promising position. Andy Robertson had made the run inside Nelson Semedo, and he just pulled him back, stopped that option from going to Andy Robertson. It was a really good, quick counter-attack. Another sign that, you know, that is a difference for this Scotland side playing in this formation with this style, that they'll get bodies forward, because you've got Robertson making the run from left back. You've got Ralston, who then is a guy that's on the end of it to put the cross in. Certainly opportunities there to go and put bodies forward and try and, unbelievably, I can't believe I'm going to say it, get that second goal.
Yeah, Scotland leading 1-0 here in Sportsound in Lisbon. There's Bernardo Silva as Portugal attack again. They're in the attacking third once more. Over on that far side, there's 3 in red in the middle, and it comes Bruno Fernandes, one of them, and he rises, but the Scottish defender who was on him has managed to get the slightest of flicks just ahead of the Portugal midfielder, and he was behind for the corner. It's actually really well defended on that occasion. It was Scott McKenna.
Brilliant, because Fernandes made a great run in between Hanley and McKenna. Scott McKenna's running back the way, he's having to get everything on it. It's a really good header.
Little ball forward by Fernandes to the left-hand side of the box. The cross comes in, and the header was well wide in the end. It was a really good ghosting run by Pedro Neto to the left-hand side of the 6-yard box. The little chip back across the face of goal was headed well over the crossbar in the end. It's another opportunity for Portugal. It wasn't a good header at all, actually, by Antonio Silva. And Scotland have a goal kick, and again you can hear the home fans a little bit frustrated. They won their opening match here in this stadium against Croatia on Thursday evening. Ronaldo scoring his 900th 900th career goal, but his latest one for Portugal. He'll be perhaps looking to make an impression later on as Christie comes bounding down this right-hand side. Scotland on the attack here, and Christie wins the throw-in brilliantly. Level with the Portugal penalty spot. It remains goalless in Osijek between Croatia and Poland. Scotland 1-0 up here, and they've got a throw-in, as I say, level with the penalty spot of the Portuguese on this near side. The Scotland right as they attack the goal to the right. It's Ralston to McTominay. He has it nicked off him and out for another throw-in on this near side. It's Bowles just to Christie, the right-hand side of the box, comes out to the touchline, knocks it back to Gilmour. Gilmour then finds Hanley, sweeps it into the centre circle for McKenna. To his left, it's Robertson, and then back to Scott McKenna. Pushes it forward to Gilmour. McLean, first time back to Robertson, and now with McKenna midway inside his own half. It's a long pinged left foot ball looking for the run of Dykes. He's not going to get there though, and it comes all the way through to Diogo Costa, the Portugal goalkeeper, who holds on. It is Portugal 0, Scotland 1 here.
That was decent play, you know, knocking a few passes about. The only issue is Scotland were then, you know, making their way backwards instead of driving forward. I think the option there was the diagonal to John McGinn. It's a tough ball. It's always going away from Dykes, always going into the path of Diogo Costa in goal.
Nelson Semedo works it out to the far side. Bruno Fernandes gets it from Bernardo Silva, back to Semedo, down the right-hand side. Pedro Neto, level with the 6-yard line. Rolls it back the way, the low ball into the area is cut out by McTominay, the Scotland goal scorer. And then he goes back to Angus Gunn, and he just gets rid of it with the left foot. Dykes tries to control in the chest. He's done really well there, Lyndon Dykes, and he's knocked it back to Gilmour. Superb from Dykes. And Christie, first time low ball all the way back to his keeper. Gunn goes long down this near side, just rising and heading it out is Nuno Mendes. Paris Saint-Germain full-back. And Scotland have a throw-in right in front of the Scotland technical area. Steve Clark standing at the right angle of that down below us in the tracksuit. Roberto Martinez, old teammate of yours at Motherwell all those years ago. He's all suited and booted for the occasion tonight.
Yeah, he certainly is. A bit better than me, Liam.
It is Portugal with Leao. Plays it infield to Bernardo Silva. Leao's in space, left-hand side, driving against the box, across the angle on the 18-yard line. What a good shot, but what an excellent bit of goalkeeping from Gunn. Gets down low to put it behind for the corner. Fabulous play by Leao. What a speed machine he is.
No, he is. He's so comfortable going either side. We've seen him already going into the left, getting his shot away. As soon as he opens up onto that right foot, you're expecting him to go the other way and go for the far post. Angus Gunn potentially as well, but he goes low and hard to his right-hand side, and it's a brilliant save, I have to say.
Bruno Fernandes with the corner back to the edge of the penalty area, where it's bent into the right-hand side of the 6-yard box. Antonio Silva is chasing it. A flag's gone up anyway over there, to the delight of the Scotland fans in the stand behind Angus Gunn. And I know he has been criticised quite a bit in recent times. A lot of goals have been flying past Angus Gunn when you consider all those clean sheets he had at the start of his Scotland career, at the start of the qualifying campaign for the European Championship last March. And I think there were some felt, I think you were one of them, felt he should have done better with the opening Poland goal the other night. And that'll do his confidence the world of good. Yeah, well, I think it's a really good save. As I said, as soon as Leao comes in on the right foot, you're expecting him to go for the far post. So Angus Gunn has to cover as much of the goal as he can. Takes a step to his left, but gets done brilliantly. Here comes McTominay, he's chopped to the ground, and that's a free kick to Scotland. And, well, they can protest all they like, but I think it was pretty clear that that was a foul and a free kick for Scotland. There was a challenge there by Palhinha on McTominay. McTominay knew exactly what he was doing. He was running into 2 or 3 defenders, but he thought, if I take a little touch here, the tackle will come, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I mean, it's a great run again from McTominay, and it's a foul. I agree with you. I don't see where the argument comes, because it's a foul. He stops it. You know, he does have players inside, and as you say, McTominay's maybe running into towards the bodies that are coming back, but it's a foul all day long. Yeah, it was Antonio Silva actually who committed the foul in the end. So Scotland have a free kick midway inside the Portugal half, slightly left to centre, and there are a couple of interested candidates down there. Robertson's one of them. He wasted a free kick at the edge of the Poland box the other night, decided to play it short, and it is Robertson. In it comes, but he gets it horribly wrong, and he's taken it left-footed, and he's put it straight behind for the goal kick. A misunderstanding, I think, between Robertson and whoever it was he was trying to find in the area. Yeah, I think it's maybe just a timing issue. You know, I don't know if the targets, I think it was Hanley, Dykes, McKenna around that back post area. I don't think they'd made their runs. Oh dear, Leao's in behind Ralston, driving down the left-hand side, he's in the box, chops onto the right, lays it back and over the bar from Jota. It came back to him, left at the penalty spot, and he puts it over the crossbar. Gunn not having to make the save on this occasion, but Rafael Leao, I mean, Anthony Ralston, as soon as he sees the back of Leao, he's gone. Yeah, I mean, it's the speed and the attack. You speak about the technical ability, but the speed that they have. Leao has been the one that's caught the eye. We know how fast Pedro Neto is as well. Jota's no slouch. But even just the touch, he knows, you know, he's so used to being, you know, the quicker player when he's going up against defenders, that he takes a big first touch. And Ralston, there's not much he can do, because if he stands beside him, the ball goes in behind and he wins the race anyway. It's just a slight let-off that
he goes and takes a touch back inside. He potentially had the chance to flash that across goal with Andy Robertson running back the way, Neto putting him under a little bit of pressure, and he's overhit the pass to Jota, who's off balance, leaning back, and I think there's a bit too much on the cutback for him. But he's again just showing the quality and the pace that he has and the threat that he's going to be. It's a huge test for Anthony Ralston.
We played a quarter of the game. Portugal 0, Scotland 1. McTominay's 11th international goal. A terrific header from a brilliant Kenny McLean cross. And the ball bouncing on this near side goes out for a Portugal throw-in. A little bit of afters down there as well. It was Ryan Christie, wasn't being pushed away by Nuno Mendes. And the ref is going to have a word with the two Scotland players, Robertson and Christie. In fact, just Christie, who's been summoned, and I think he also wants to speak to Nuno Mendes. Say something said between the pair.
Yeah, I think that, you know, they're obviously
back, wasn't there?
Yeah, he just gives him a little push away. Christie doesn't move his position. Mendes comes into him and gives him, you know, quite a forceful shove with two hands. I understand the referee want to speak to both players, but I'm not just defending Ryan Christie here, but he didn't do a lot wrong.
Yeah, I just don't think Nuno Mendes enjoyed the grappling in the previous phase of play there. A little bit of retribution for that. Anyway, he's on it again here. Mendes just inside the Scotland half, finds Leao on the halfway line, fires it back. I think he felt he was fouled. The ref's giving them an advantage here. They're in possession. Antonio Silva out to that far side. That's a brilliant turn of pace from Pedro Neto over there. It's actually come off him last and behind for the goal kick. Drove towards the byline, looking to try and get the cross in. It was blocked and it came back off him and out for the goal kick. It stays 1-0 Scotland.
Yeah, he's just showing, again, the pace. Slows John McGinn down, little step over, he just busts away from him. But Andy Robertson covering him, understanding, you know, where to be, getting the block in, Scotland getting the goal kick.
The Portugal fans are not happy with the length of time Scotland are taking over set plays. Dead balls. Here's Bernardo Silva picking up right to the centre circle, gets it out to Pedro Neto again on the right flank. Diogo Jota makes his move towards the edge of the box, now with Bernardo Silva over there. Such a hugely decorated spell at Manchester City. 5 titles he's won there, and one of the best. It's Portugal possession. The cross ball comes in and McKenna throws up the left boot to put it behind for the corner. It was coming in at some pace. He's 6 yards out with his own goal in front of him, so he's actually done really well there, McKenna.
Yeah, positionally, I think that back four, excellent, getting down the line of the cross, and that is not an easy clearance.
Short corner on the far side to Bernardo Silva. Back to Fernandes. It's a little short ball to the right of the penalty area for Pedro Neto. Back the way it comes. Low ball in. Comes off Dykes. Goes behind for another. Portugal corner. They're enjoying another one of their good spells in the game here. Scotland, though, still protecting this 1-0 lead.
Yeah, they're still getting the box in. They're still making it difficult for Portugal.
There's another change of pace to get away from Robertson. And it comes and headed away by Hanley on the 6-yard line. Breaks to Jota, to Semedo, now to this left-hand side. Diaz finds Leao, the cross comes in, it's headed over. That's a huge opportunity for 1-1, that one. It really is, and you can see the reaction of Antonio Silva. He's had a couple of opportunities with his head in that kind of area in the game. I mean, he's lost sight of the goal. He hasn't taken that well at all, the youngster. And it will be a goal kick. It stays 1-0 Scotland, only just on this occasion, though. That's a big chance.
Yeah, it was a terrible header. He should be scoring. Great little pick out from Leao. Just clips it into the centre of the 6-yard box. And when he gets up, he shuts his eyes.
Ball in behind McLean. It's picked up by Bernardo Silva. Now Fernandes goes for goal. It's a comfortable take, though, for Gunn. And he's inside his 6-yard box. Held on to that one. And the Man United player didn't really get the trajectory and the shot that he was hoping for there. And it remains Portugal 0, Scotland 1. Angus Gunn not happy with the football. They're going to have to get another one on. So he's got his wish.
Yeah, just on the header from Antonio Silva. He gets up really well. He keeps his eye on it until maybe the last yard as it's travelling towards him, and he shuts his eyes and comes off the top of his head. It's a huge let-off as we're getting a great amount of reruns of Scott McTominay's wonderful goal.
A brilliant header, brilliant ball by McLean. Here's Bernardo Silva looking to recreate it at the other end, and in comes the cross ball looking for Leao, but Gunn gets onto it, was too close to the keeper. And he played 28. How are you feeling right now? How's Steve Clark feeling, do you think, about this?
Well, he's going to be feeling really good, because we have to acknowledge the quality that Portugal have, and we have to understand that they're going to have the ball, that their technical players are going to have it in around the box, they're going to put crosses in, they'll make good runs, they'll have good deliveries, they'll get in behind us. But I think the team shape's been excellent. I think that getting down the line of crosses, getting blocks in, has been really good, and at times, not in the last maybe 10 minutes, we've not offered too much going forward, but we have had opportunities to go and break and create chances, and of course, being 1-0 up, we'll be absolutely delighted.
Long ball, Diogo Jota gets onto it, he can keep it in play, down by the byline, but his ball into the Scotland box comes through to an unchallenged Angus Gunn. Quite a game going on elsewhere in Nations League A. In Group 4, Spain are 2-0 up against Switzerland. Switzerland had a goal ruled out. Robin Normand's been sent off as well. Spain down to 10 men, but 2-0 up. The other game in this group, in Osijek in Croatia, remains 0-0 between the hosts and Poland. Here comes Scotland on the attack, and it's McTominay out to Robertson on the left, gets the cross ball in, looking for Lyndon Dykes, who did manage to get his foot onto it, but he can't do anything other than force it out to this near side and out for a Portugal throw-in. They've actually looked really comfortable when they've had possession of the football tonight, Scotland.
That was a brilliant piece of play, because it starts from Angus Gunn. There's a few risky passes in and around the box, and Scotland managed to get out and get the ball out the other side. It's just a little bit overhit from John McGinn, and Lyndon Dykes can't get enough on it.
And from Portugal with Semedo, uses Pedro Neto on the overlap. Neto moving infield now, he's in a right central position. Finds Bruno Fernandes, he crosses in, and Diogo Jota's header saved brilliantly by Gunn. He's in loads of space there. He was on target, Gunn makes yet another save. Scotland protecting this lead. It is Portugal again, and another cross ball into the box, this time looking for Leao, headed away by Ralston, sliced up high into the air by McTominay. Drops back down onto the head of Palhinha, who nods it to his right. And it's Pedro Neto to Semedo. And back the way to Bruno Fernandes. It's pushed back towards him. It goes behind him from Palhinha. And eventually Portugal pick up on this near side with Nuno Mendes. Out to Leao. He takes his eye off it for a split second. It was under his foot. And out for a throw-in. And I don't think Tony Ralston will be too bothered about that. Scotland throw-in. Scotland lead 1-0 in Lisbon.
Yeah, I'd be delighted he doesn't have to go and defend them again. But that's a great chance for Portugal. Jota with the header. It's a good height. Post to Angus Gunn, he makes a good save and gets it away from danger.
And diving header from the Liverpool man. And Diogo Jota.
I think the man on the bench would have dispatched that one there.
Yeah. Scotland have it. It's a little ball in field by Dykes. He was looking for Christie, but he can only put it to Bruno Fernandes, who picks up just left of the centre circle. And a little ball left to right of that. Palhinha out to the right-hand side of Pedro Neto. Facing up to Robertson, looking to get the cross in. He shapes onto the left foot. Stops his run. Back out to the right. Semedo's cross comes in. Headed away by Hanley. Now Palhinha picks up under pressure from McTominay to Pedro Neto. And now Semedo level with the edge of the D of the Scotland box. Just passed back the way here to Ruben Diaz. And then shifts it to the right-hand side. Everyone bar the goalkeeper in the Scotland half right now, the Portugal keeper. Then comes another cross ball, comes off the head of McKenna, and that's going to go behind for the corner from this near side. Portugal keep coming towards that Scotland goal.
It's a great header again from McKenna, running back towards his own goal. But I think Anthony Ralston get confused as to who headed it, because he could have kept that in, and he almost lets it go, then realises, oh no, that was McKenna.
Corner on the Portugal left as they attack the goal to the left. Bruno Fernandes with it. It's flicked away by Hanley. Drops to the edge of the area, and the volley was well wide there from Bruno Mendes. And that was flying past the left-hand post. And it stays Portugal 0, Scotland 1. We're almost on 33.
Yeah, I mean, spoken about their quality so much, and rightly so. But I have to say, the defending, particularly from Hanley and McKenna, when the ball's getting crossed in, to go and put their head in there, to get blocks in. At times they've been free. Angus Gunn's come up with a couple of really good saves. So at the minute, the warnings are there, but Scotland seem to be dealing with it well enough.
Yeah, so far so good. The Mexican wave going round the stadium just now, in case you were wondering what the roar was just a moment ago. It's going to be back with us shortly, Faddy, as Portugal pick up on that right-hand side, midway inside the Scotland half. It's fired back to Palhinha, right of the centre circle. Big switch out towards Leao, cut out by Ralston. And now Christie has it on this near side, looking to change pace. They're going to get down the line. Bruno Fernandes there, and he sees it out for a throw-in to Portugal. And it's on this near side. McTominay up to 11 goals for Scotland now. He's only 7 behind John McGinn now.
Yeah, the scoring form that he's been in has been quite remarkable. Even last season for Man United, he scored some big goals for them at big moments. And he just seems to relish, playing in the Scotland jersey over the last number of years. Such a big player. Certainly got a lift for his move to Napoli as well.
And it's incredible when you consider the previous European Championship he was playing was one of the 3 centre-backs.
Yeah, I think that, you look at how he's playing here as almost a number 10, and it's not a conventional number 10 where you're looking for him to go on the ball and get in a half-turn and play passes. It's his athleticism and his energy to drive, but his intelligence to get in really good positions to put the ball into the back of the net, and his finishing's outstanding.
I've often wondered if you could potentially use him as a striker, play him so. as a number 9.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was his position when he was younger. He played as a striker. I think that the way that he plays and the runs that he makes, and he's look at the stature of him as well. He could definitely play as a striker, but you look at what he brings playing as an advanced midfielder, whether it's off the right hand side in that back 5, or certainly, it looks like we're getting the very best out of him, playing him as a number 10, a more attacking midfielder in the central area.
Meanwhile, there's a foul by Ruben Diaz out in this near side on Dykes. So Scotland have a free kick. It's a yard or 2 away from the touchline, midway inside Portuguese territory. On this near side, the Scotland right, another big line of players running about the edge of the D. They make the move now. In comes the cross ball. There's a couple going down on the edge of the box. Portugal able to get it clear, and the referee blows the whistle for what is he perceives to be a foul there, just by Christie on the edge of the box on Semedo. We're in the final 10 of the opening 45. 1-0 Scotland, but here come Portugal again. Long ball, picks out Pedro Neto. Jota's waiting in the middle. Neto has it. Gilmour with a really good challenge. Loses it again though. Here's Neto. At least he was just able to take the momentum out of the attack there, was Gilmour. And Portugal have it. It's a shot from distance, which isn't too far away. It's a really good hit by Nuno Mendes. He's 25 yards out, just slightly left the centre. And it had Gunn panicked just at the last there. Had shades of Poland the other night, actually.
Yeah, very similar, different angle. And I have to say, having a chance to see it again, I think Angus Gunn has it covered on this occasion. But I was laughing when you says that Billy Gilmour gets back and managed to take the sting out of that attack. You just know the next pass is going to create something, and it does there. A shot, okay, from 30 yards at the angle, but they're so good. The use of the ball's excellent. The way that the flood bodies forward and create space and overloads is excellent. But I have to say, Scotland have dealt with it very, very well so far.
It's Andy Robertson in the Portugal half, rolls it back the way though to McKenna. He switches it to Hanley, who have struggled to sleep since that foul right at the end of the game against the Poles the other night, as they were awarded the penalty, which ultimately saw Scotland defeated. It was out for a Scotland throw-in on this near side. Roberto Martinez isn't happy down there. His arms outstretched. I think he and his players and the supporters feel that some of the 50-50 decisions are not going their way. As McLean picks up and fires it back to Gunn. The edge of his box, rolls it to his left. And it is Scotland picking up in the midfield here. McGinn laying it back to Gilmour. Gilmour then out to the left-hand side. Little low ball is cut out by Palhinha. Robertson has it, but he concedes the throw-in. Over on the far side, Portugal 0, Scotland 1. I think the Portugal fans getting a bit excited because Ronaldo's away out for a warm-up.
Well, it's some ovation, isn't it? I mean, I don't know how much he's actually going to warm up. He's just standing with his hands on his hips. But quite rightly, they absolutely love him here.
Cards coming for Christie. And it's on his new best mate, Nuno Mendes, who is left writhing in a heap on the Deluge pitch down there. First booking of the evening goes to Ryan Christie, and he's not really complaining.
No, and he can't either, because Mendes gets inside him. And Christie's always second best his position in that occasion anyway. He makes a lunge, catches him on his left leg. It's a yellow card all day long.
Bernardo Silva finds Mendes. Game on again here. Ruben Diaz into the centre circle for Palhinha. And then to Antonio Silva and out to Pedro Neto on the right-hand touchline. Gives it to Semedo. And back to Neto. And slipped back to the edge of the centre circle for Manchester City's Colossus, Ruben Diaz. Now Mendes out to Leao, who's been quieter in the last 10 minutes. And then 39 and a half on the clock there are, and Leao trying to work the 1-2. Ralston slides in and puts it out for the throw-in. Level with the Scotland 6-yard line on this near side. Bowled back to Mendes. Dykes trying to patrol him. And it's shifted to Antonio Silva midway inside the Scotland half. It's the switch out to this near side. The header from Christie drops to Mendes. Christie with the challenge. Gilmour with the touch, but he's given it away, and then it's Leao. He too gives it away. This time his box of tricks lets him down, but Ralston puts it through Christie's legs and out for a throw-in to Portugal on the near side. Hurtling towards the final 5 minutes of the opening 45, with Scotland leading by a 0-0 here in the Portuguese capital. Antonio Silva trots forward with it, and then squares the ball to Palhinha. Rolls it low out to Leao on this near side, level with the Scotland penalty spot, now level with the 6-yard line. It's cross cut out by Ralston, it bounces back off Leao and behind for a goal kick. And make no mistake about it, if Scotland are somehow able to win this game tonight, this, and we're talking about this before, this is their best win on paper since Paris, and when this guy to my left stuck the ball in the French net. That is where we're at. The only other time since then that they've beaten a side in the current top 10 or 20 nations was Croatia and Zagreb in 2013, and they were already out of that tournament by that point. So that is a fact. 17 years, just about exactly. Normally see that goal clipped up on social media platforms around about this time of year.
Well, hopefully it's going to be McTominay's from now on, and it's as big a moment for him and for us. But look, it's a huge 5 minutes coming up initially, and that's what you have to do. You have to break it down into 5 minutes to go, defend as well as we have done for the remaining 5 as we have for the previous 40, and then you can go in and get a little break and regroup and try and make some tweaks to maybe get a bit more control of the ball.
Steve Clark's has some good away wins, Vienna, Oslo, but this is on a different level. If they're able to get there, but so much work still to do. Ruben Diaz plays it out to Nuno Mendes on this near side. Short ball to Leao. Left-footed pass, short back to Nuno Mendes. Slips it into the midfield. It's picked up there by Antonio Silva. Ball forward to Bruno Fernandes, and now it's with Diogo Jota. Spreads the play to Mendes, out to Leao. Scotland have to keep calm here as the ball slipped into their area again. Bernardo Silva's onto it, left of the 6-yard box, twisting and turning, looking for an option, gets the cross in, it's half away. Bruno Fernandes strikes it, it's blocked. Breaks out to this left-hand side for Nuno Mendes, whose cross is poor, and Gilmour gets it away, and then Dykes pushes it forward to McTominay. The ref blows the whistle because the Scotland striker was brought down, and it will be a free kick, and again a chance to relieve the pressure on that Scotland defence. And well, as soon as Bruno Fernandes is stepping onto that, hitting it first time at the edge of the box, you fear the worst.
Yeah, you do, and I think that the initial header, again defensively really good position, and McKenna with an outstanding block, because as you say, when Fernandes steps into it, we know the quality he has. Just before it, Bernardo Silva's making the run in our right-hand channel, Portugal's left, and it's between Ralston and Hanley, and obviously the both of them are still thinking about diving in on Thursday night, and they just leave it.
Yeah. Here comes Leao, he's in space, he's driving forward. McLean trying desperately to get there. Leao lets fly, and it's just wide. Low effort, past the left-hand post. And it stays Portugal 0, Scotland 1. We're in the final 2 minutes of the opening 45. And the fact is, if you're going to come to a place like this and win a game of football, you are going to be up against it at times. And Leao driving to the edge of the box, firing it just past Gunn's right-hand post.
Yeah, without doubt. You're going to have to defend, you're going to need to carry a bit of luck. And so far we've defended very well. I would say we've been lucky. There's a mixture of good defending and poor finishing at times. Good goalkeeping. It has to happen. You know, we speak about the quality. You can't keep them at bay and not give them any chances all night because they're so good.
You saw Kenny McLean there. He could not get back at Leao, and he was desperately trying to foul him. He couldn't even get back to a position, but he's able to do that.
Because he was on his haunches
he was
after
stretching,
that. Feeling the groin, maybe, because it was even a lazy attempt to bring him down.
Yeah. So he was just trying to trip him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Portugal have it with Ruben Diaz on this near
Not
side.
lazy, tired.
Yeah. Leao slips it forward. Nuno Mendes there, and a challenge from Ralston. The Portugal fans, A, think it's in the box, and B, think it's a penalty. It's going to be a corner only on this near side.
Yeah, and it had to be perfect from Anthony Ralston because he's blindside. Mendes has gone outside him. It's a brilliant challenge. He's got eyes for the ball, and the ball only. Dangerous tackle to make, but he gets it perfect.
Portugal corner. It's taken low by Fernandes into the box. It's poor though, picked up by McGinn on the penalty spot. McGinn trying to get it to safety, but he's given it away. Nuno Mendes, and then Fernandes has it, and he knocks it back to Bernardo Silva. Left-footed ball from the centre point out to the right-hand side for Pedro Neto. 5 or 6 waiting in red in the middle. Scotland desperately trying to get through to half-time with the lead intact. Then it comes right through. 1 minute's been added, comes right through to Gunn, who holds on. We're into one solitary minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half here in Lisbon, with Scotland leading 1-0. Thanks to that McTominay header from Kenny McLean's wonderful ball into the box. It really was a fabulously worked goal by Scotland.
So much to love about it, you know, from the initial little flick on from McGinn, knowing exactly that Andy Robertson's the target. Robertson's decision not to just fire it across, perfectly weighted into the path of Kenny McLean, who puts an unbelievable cross in. And McTominay, as we've seen so many times, makes a run and finds a finish.
Leao going after it, and that's better defending there by Grant Hanley. If he'd done that the other night, it would have finished 2 each. Was behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, but he certainly, you know, covering the position a lot better. He knows that Anthony Ralston's in trouble. He knows that Rafa Leao will make those runs in behind, and he's covering over and seeing that out. At times he's putting blocks in. It's been a strong defensive performance.
It has, and just that solitary clean sheet against Gibraltar that they've had in the last 12 months as the Italian referee blows for half-time here in Lisbon, and a shock scoreline. Scotland go in for the interval with a 1-0 lead handed to them by Scott McTominay. 7th minute header from Kenny McLean's cross ball came in from the left. McTominay bulleted it home into the top left corner of Diogo Costa's net. And whilst there have been long periods in that first half of Portugal pressure, there's been chances. Antonio Silva missing the best of the lot probably. Gunn making a couple of really good saves. Jota with a header, Leao with a couple of efforts. Leao hit the side net as well when he'd 3 waiting for a pullback. But it's an incredible scoreline really when you consider the 12 months that this team has had, despite the fact it included a memorable appearance in a European Championship finals. Results-wise, 1 win in 13 coming into this one, and they lead one of the behemoths of not just European football, but world football, in the shape of Portugal. It's going to be a long second half for Scotland, the longer they can hold on to this lead, but at half-time they can take a breather with a scoreline in the Estadio da Luz in Lisbon. Portugal 0, Scotland 1.
Scotland in the UEFA Nations League.
It's absolutely brilliant from Scotland!
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
on BBC Sounds.
Please give a huge warm welcome to Sir Ian Rankin.
I wanted to be a writer and nothing was going to stop me.
I come from Portugal.
Crime writer Ian Rankin joins me, Nicola Meehan, to share the songs that have soundtracked his life.
I think Rebus would like this as well. It's kind of muscular, songs about hard men and their kind of soft centre.
And he tells the stories that go with them.
I wasn't old enough to go and see these X-certificate films, but they didn't stop me borrowing the books from the library.
There's no age restriction, right?
Whoa! I do remember us going down to the Pogo a Go-Go Club in Kirkcaldy to watch the Skids. They were our band, singing songs about where we lived.
For the record from BBC Radio Scotland. Listen now on BBC Sounds.
It is half-time in Lisbon. It is Portugal 0, Scotland 1, Croatia 0-0 against Poland at half-time in the other game in the group. Well, a fair bit of doom and gloom and pessimism beforehand, I think it's fair to say, Willie, across the boards, not just necessarily in this programme, but among the Scotland fans. That's been an unexpected first 45 minutes in terms of the scoreline, at least.
Yeah, it has. I think it's predictable in terms of possession and the fact that Portugal have created a number of opportunities, but at the same time, I don't think we could have predicted that we're going to take the lead in 7 minutes, that's for sure. And quite fantastic goal. And Scott McTominay, I mean, the story just goes on, doesn't it? And on. His run, the timing of the run, was absolutely spot on. It was well worked, and the cross from Kenny McLean, with that left foot of his, and the bullet header, quite sensational. Andy Robertson playing his part in it as well. And they've managed to get themselves up the park in a number of occasions, Scotland. But for most of it, they've had to defend. But that's what you're expecting. You're not expecting to go over to Lisbon and have anything other than, a really torrid time. And everybody's played their part. The organisation has been superb. The back four, and really, well, McTominay's carried the ball on a number of occasions for us to give us a little bit of respite. But the rest, Gilmer, McLean, McGinn and Christie playing their part too. And even Lyndon Dykes, it's a lone furrow he's ploughing up there, but he does it very willingly. And he's always an outlet as well. And Angus Gunn, a couple of very good saves, getting himself in the right position. But at the same time, the opportunities for Portugal have been there. Leao down that left-hand side has been, making it very difficult for Anthony Ralston. But he sticks to his task. You can say that about him, that's for sure. But he's had a difficult evening. Leao probably should have done better on 2 or 3 occasions when he's had the opening and maybe just not caught the ball properly, or he could have maybe laid in a teammate as well. His decision making and the quality striking hasn't been top quality. Otherwise, there might have been something coming from his right boot, mostly coming in from the left hand side. So there has been chances. Perhaps we've rode our luck a little bit. Their finishing hasn't been of the standard that you would expect. But at the same time, all round, very, very good performance. Disciplined performance, solid. It hasn't been a high press. It's been very much a low block. Everybody playing their part. And Portugal, struggling really to cut us open. I mean, the chances have been there, but it's not like glaring chances that they've created. And 1-0 at half time. Steve Clarke would be absolutely delighted with the organisation of the players, the determination, the kind of group structure of the team has been first class, and everybody's played their part. So far, so good.
Just a word then about the man who scored the goal, as he so often seems to do these days, Scott McTominay. So when he got his goal against against Poland, that was his 10th in an international shirt. He became one of only 24 players in the history of the national team to score double figures. With that goal tonight, obviously he moves on to 11. There are now suddenly only 15 players in the history of the international side who have scored more goals for their country than Scott McTominay. He only netted 1 in his first 37 international matches, I think.
Yeah.
And that's 10 now in the 17
possibly playing a little bit deeper as well, and maybe a couple of occasions it was one of a three at the back, which defensively I couldn't really understand the quality that he's got. He's the one that's got to get in touch with Dykes. He's been given that role, to be just off Dykes, but at times Dykes is away back the park as well. They've all got to play their part. They know the quality of the opposition. We're just watching a replay of the goal. His timing, McTominay's timing was just top quality, because Portugal are actually pushing out, and he's coming for a deep area, but the cross from Kenny McLean is superb, and the header, I mean, it's got power and direction. It's everything that you would want to see from a striker, let alone a midfield player. But what a record he's got now in goal scoring. Still got plenty of time ahead of him.
Yeah.
To add to these goals, and he's been the main man, without doubt. He's been the main man. Yeah, John McGinn at times, maybe in the past, not so much recently, adding to the goal tally. But McTominay just can't stop scoring.
Well, John actually did have that spell, didn't he? And there's no doubt he had become the darling of the Tartan Army. But McTominay has undoubtedly overtaking him right now, and it was a really well worked goal. Actually, the free kick swung in, and there was a clever header. It was McGinn actually. He just nodded it back to Andy Robertson. Robertson teed it up for McLean, and the ball that swept in is outstanding. The keeper doesn't even move when McTominay flashes the header past him. It has been a defensive shift ever since. There's no question. I mean, you touched on Rafael Leao. I mean, I'm looking back at my notes, and there's a spell there where every sentence starts with Leao. It's run into box, in an angle, cuts in, run and cut back. I mean, there have been plenty of opportunities. But what maybe we have seen this evening from Scotland is why Steve Clarke didn't make those changes, why he has indeed gone with the same 11.
Well, he's got a lot of faith in the players in the squad. There's no doubt about that. He constantly tells us that he's got a lot of faith in them. He's went for that experience. The experience is paying off. But there's obviously a lot of work had to be done, with the tactics and how you're going to play against Portugal. Try to not get yourself too exposed by going forward. Yeah, you've got to be a threat, and Steve Clarke says that he wants to be a threat going forward. But don't expose yourself because they're so quick on the break. And Leao, I mean, what a handful he is. You look at Anthony Ralston, and he's got a huge task there to try and curb his threat. But one thing about Ralston is he sticks to his task, doesn't he? He's not one to give up. But their finishing could be better. Leao in particular, I think his finishing, when he had the opportunities, he hasn't been striking the ball crisply enough. The other chances, Silva had a header over the bar. Jota had a header that it really should have done much better with. It was pretty clear, and it was a poor effort from his. Mendes had the long range shot as well, and then the McKenna block too.
Yes.
Scott coming out, they were talking about perhaps hitting his hand, but no way. It was he came out, he took the full force of it in his thigh. A really good block. It was definitely heading goalwards, and would have been a problem for Angus Gunn in goal. So they've all played their part. It's been a really disciplined performance, and that movement, that combination piece for the goal was quite superb. And for it coming so early too, is it better coming early? Maybe it's better coming a little bit later. But they've had to show a lot of resolve to hold out until half time.
When you have to defend, as they have had to do for the largest part of the 45 minutes, as the game wears on, does it become more a mental thing than a physical thing? And that being the case, for as long as it stays 1-0, I'd imagine Steve Clarke is tempted not to make any changes, but there must come a point where you begin to worry about the concentration levels, potentially. Yeah,
but I think so. But, where do you make these changes? Don't necessarily think you need to make them at the back. And I agree with you. I think, when you're in a defensive situation, the way Scotland have been, and you're having to concentrate fully, and that you're under pressure, and you're not getting too much of a respite, and the quality of the opposition, then I think mentally as the game goes on, then you begin to wilt a little bit, perhaps. But at the same time, when it is, when you've still got the lead, that's huge. And they know how big this result would be. If you can go over to Lisbon and take on Portugal and come out with a victory, that puts you right up there with some of the best results, if not the best result that Scotland's ever managed to achieve. You're talking about a competitive game here against the top quality opposition. No Ronaldo, of course, whether he comes on, we'll just have to wait and see. But you would think that as the game goes on, if they haven't scored, then, and even if they have scored, they'll probably come on anyway. I can imagine him doing his warm-up in front of Martinez and staring him in the eye, hoping to get on. But so far, it's been a really well-disciplined performance. I think as the game goes on, it'll be more difficult, and the concentration level will have to be there. And I think, the quality that they've got, the chances they've created, I don't think the actual quality of the finishing has been good enough. And you hope that continues in the second half, but it might not.
I suppose the other thing you see, and let's be honest, Scotland are up against a team that are better. They have better players, so collectively they're better than Scotland, albeit Scotland have the lead right now. What shines through is the time that Portugal seem to have on the ball compared to the time that Scotland. Whenever we have possession, and it's been fairly limited at times, there are 2 or 3 Portuguese around, and we almost certainly, very quickly lose the ball, whereas Portugal have. Is that just simply because of the awareness and the ability to find space when you're at the level they are?
It's just that when you're playing at this level, they're better players. They're a better team. I think we've got to recognise that. Yeah, they're more skillful. They're used to playing in tight areas. They've got that confidence, that kind of organisation, that understanding with each other. There's sometimes you come up against the top quality nations in Europe or in the world, and they simply can. They're just better than you. What you've got to then do is you've got to, have a little bit of magic. You've got to, ride your luck a little bit, which I think Scotland have done. I think that they would, they would accept that. But you don't expect anything else. And what you're saying is, I don't think we're as good as they are at keeping the ball under pressure and linking. Although on a number of occasions there was nice passages of football that we managed to achieve as well. So I wouldn't say we're not capable of that, but they're better at it than what we are. I think just fortunately their finishing hasn't been of the level that maybe their individual skill and their linking play has been, and we hope that would continue. And you also remember that when we get the ball, they're all over us like a rash, aren't they? I mean, they work extremely hard to press, and that's a press when we're trying to build up in our own half, so that you're not really getting too much momentum going or too much threat. I think McTominay, when he's had a little bit of space, he's galloped into and got us up the park. I think that really helps when you're constantly under pressure. If you can get a ball carrier that actually gets you up the park, and McTominay is that type, when he sees a bit of room, he'll run into it, and then you can push up, and at least you're getting some time that you're not under constant pressure.
Well, it has been so far a 45 minutes to remember for Scotland. They lead thanks to that excellent goal from Scott McTominay. Can they see it through and pick up what would be a remarkable 3 points in the Nations League? More to come from Willie later. This is Sports, and we're live on BBC Radio Scotland. Time for the second half from Lisbon. Portugal 0, Scotland 1, as we rejoin James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, and the headline news right now is that Cristiano Ronaldo is on for the start of the second half. Roberto Martinez has made a double change. Ruben Neves, I think, is the other player to take to the field. Palhinha has gone off. Just waiting for confirmation of the other Portugal player who's been withdrawn at the interval. I think it's Neto, is it? Yeah, Neto. So Ronaldo on, he's got the skipper's armband as well. Scotland looking to produce one of their best ever results. They're 45 minutes plus stoppages away from that. Portugal, they've only lost 4 of their last 21 games since losing to Morocco at the last World Cup. They've won the other 17. The only sides to beat them have been Slovenia in a friendly in March, Croatia in a pre-Euro friendly at the old Nacional, which is fondly remembered, of course, by Celtic supporters. And they lost to Georgia and then to the French in the shootout, as Portugal get the second half underway, going from left to right in the red and green. Scotland in their change kit this evening, the very pale blue with purple flashes. Scotland going right to left, no changes for them as Portugal pick up on this near side. It's slipped out to Semedo, who shifts it back to Antonio Silva. And you're getting in the background the confirmation from the PA that Portugal made those two alterations. Here's Semedo, right-hand side of the Scotland box. They go left to right in the second half. Cross is cut out by Robertson. And out for a Portugal throw-in on this near side. So, a new problem to deal with in the shape of the man whose name has just been announced to the Lisbon faithful. And it is Portugal in possession. Of course, he's looking for goal number 901 in his career this evening. Ronaldo has had one of the best international careers of anyone. Perhaps would have liked to have got his hands on the World Cup, but he did get the European Championship winners medal in 2016, albeit he came off early in that final injured. Portugal have it, big switch out to this near side for Semedo. Turns it back to Antonio Silva. Scotland all hands to the pump early in the second half. You would expect that to continue. Semedo rolls it to the right-hand side of the penalty area for Diogo Jota. His attempted cross is cut out, and it's dinked away by Robertson. So McGinn tries to get a little flick onto it, but it's going to be picked up there by Ruben Neves. And then turned back there to Ruben Diaz. Drives up to the edge of the Scotland box. Now it's with Ronaldo. Left-hand side of the box. Christie trying to shadow him. It's not back there to Mendes. Then out to Leao on that far side. Level with the Scotland 18-yard line. In it comes, headed away by Hanley. Dykes loses it at the edge of the penalty area. Antonio Silva dribbling into the Scotland box still. It's Antonio Silva. It's played across, cut out by Dykes. Back to Leao. Little chip towards the back post. Nobody in Portuguese colours there. And it was behind for the goal kick. Yeah. And it will remain 1-0 Scotland. But yeah, they've been up against it early in the second half, as you would expect.
Well, it's 2 minutes, and there's been sustained pressure in the first 2 minutes of the second half. No signs of Portugal relenting, and I'm not surprised Ronaldo's come on, because the chances they've created and the way that they've played, it seems to be tailor-made for them. You know, the crosses coming into the box, McKenna and Hanley have both done really well to get themselves on the end of it and get the blocks. And you feel that Ronaldo, with that aerial prowess that he has, is certainly going to be a different proposition. And you feel that even if, you know, one of those chances had fallen to him in the first half, you would fancy him to have taken it. So you're going to have to be extra vigilant in that back line.
Scotland have it with McLean, and he moves it out to McGinn on this near side. Semedo for company. McGinn loses out, and it's kept in play by Bernardo Silva, and it's turned back to Antonio Silva, and then all the way back to the goalkeeper. Diogo Costa fires it into the feet of Mendes on the left. Leao ahead of him. That's where it goes. Leao has it. Jota goes to the left. He's got Ronaldo to the right. He chops away from two challenges. Shifts it to Jota. Christie, really good tackle by Ryan Christie over there to win it back for Scotland as he tries to drive forward himself, but he's had his pocket picked, and it's Diogo Jota driving up to the edge of the D. Rolls it to the right for Semedo. Then out to this near side for Bernardo Silva. On his left foot, little chip ball, diving header away by McKenna. Portugal come again with Bernardo Silva on this near side. In 49 minutes, and Scotland still leading 1-0, but it's almost intense, constant pressure from the Portuguese. And here's Ronaldo, plays it across low. It's not a great ball, cut out in the 6-yard line by Hanley, and out for a Portugal throw-in on the far side. Taken short to Leao, he wanted too long on it. Christie wins it back, now it's with McTominay. Rolls it back to Christie. And then to Ralston into the midfield. Here for Billy Gilmour. Gilmour strolling up to the halfway line. Looks at home in this kind of company, does Gilmour. He finds McGinn, then back to McLean, and now Gilmour out to Robertson. Infield to McGinn on the turn, finds Gilmour, slips it to McTominay. Good build up this by Scotland. McTominay has it. He's up towards the edge of the box, faced by his Old Trafford colleague Bruno Fernandes. Turned back by McTominay to McLean. Then infield to McGinn. Good possession this in the Portugal half. Now it's with Robertson. Forward to Gilmore, back to Robertson. And back to McGinn. McGinn then feeds it out wide left for Robertson. Steps in field, but he shows too much of it to Bernardo Silva, and it all breaks down. And Robertson has just left a mark on Neves. You could hear him. You could hear the noise from Neves from away up here as Ronaldo picks up right-hand side of the box. He's in the area here. He's on the right side, and he fires it high over the bar at the angle. And it stays Portugal 0, Scotland 1. I think the Scotland fans relieved that Ronaldo decided to go for glory himself there. He's got two waiting in the middle. I think the yellow cards come out there, has it, for Robertson. It wasn't a great challenge, actually, on Neves.
Nah, he was late, and it's because he'd given the ball away. He drives inside. John McGinn's probably too close to him. Billy Gilmore's made an angle that difficult for Robertson to get the ball to him. He runs into trouble, and he's just trying to fix his mistake. And thankfully, when the ball gets to Ronaldo, the angle is not his friend.
It is Portugal in possession on this near side. As Neves seems to have recovered from that previous challenge. Shifted right to left of the circle by Antonio Silva to Ruben Diaz, and then out to Leao on the touchline. Scotland still lead 1-0. It's Leao getting it from Mendes. And back to Mendes, and then back out wide left for Leao. Level with the penalty spot. There are 5 in Portuguese colours in the middle here. Mendes looking for space to cross. He puts a low ball into the Scotland box. It's cut out by Ralston and out for a throw into Portugal over on that far side. Bold short back to Rafael Leao, and then to the left of the centre circle for Antonio Silva. Here's Neves. The ball forward to Bernardo Silva, who wants it back immediately here. And Bernardo Silva over to the left it goes. Ruben Diaz, his club mate, then shifts it to the left-hand side. Cross coming in from Mendes, way too close to Angus Gunn, who holds on. Ronaldo has a moan at somebody down there, arms outstretched, and it's the Scotland goalkeeper who holds on. It is Portugal 0, Scotland 1 here in Lisbon.
I think he's telling the referee he's getting his slip pulled. Potentially Scott McKenna, and the referee's having none of it.
Gunn's ball out to this left-hand side. Cushion header Robertson infield to McLean. He gives it away to Semedo, and now they've got a little bit of space to work in Portugal. Down the right-hand side with Bernardo Silva. Back to Bruno Fernandes. Looks up at the box. Bends a good ball in. Punched away by the two fists of Angus Gunn. Then picked up on the far side by Leao. Ball infield to Neves. Back out to the left. It goes for Mendes. Short ball back onto the touchline for Leao. Infield for Neves. Then back out to that far side for Mendes again. Leao is onto it, then feeds it infield to Ruben Diaz. Square ball for Antonio Silva. It's a difficult watch for the Scotland fans at the moment, this. Scotland supporters off up the other end, behind Diogo Costa's goal up in the heavens. It's Bernardo Silva popping it around. He's seeing a lot of the ball ominously at the moment. Here's Mendes. Wide left, Leao pulls it back to the edge of the area. Bruno Fernandes shoots and scores! That's been coming since the break. Gunn gets a touch but doesn't do enough to keep it out. He probably should have done. And it is the Manchester United midfielder Bruno Fernandes sweeps home, and Portugal are level within 9 minutes of the restart in Lisbon. Portugal 1, Scotland 1.
Sustained pressure again from Portugal. They work it from side to side, looking for that perfect opening. They've put loads of crosses into the box. On this occasion, they change the angle. It's a cutback to Bruno Fernandes. The connection he gets on the left foot because he's bouncing towards him. I think it takes a slight nick in front of Angus Gunn. Regardless, he has to be keeping that out at the back of the net. It's
got both gloves to it.
Yeah, he has. It's not even taking a nick. I thought it did. I was trying to help him. It's another one he should
Portugal
save.
again with Ronaldo, straight from the restart. The shot's deflected behind for the corner. Scotland bang up against it all of a sudden.
I mean, it does well, Fernandes, to get the connection, get it towards goal. But Angus Gunn, for me, should be keeping that out of the back of the net.
Yeah, plenty for Steve Clark and John Carver down there to ponder right now. Portugal have an in-swinging corner from their left-hand side. Over there on the far side as we watch. Right-footed towards the 6-yard line. It just evades Ronaldo. Did Hanley get a touch? Doesn't look like it's going out for a Scotland throw-in on this near side. It's important that the Scotland heads don't go swimming at this point, because it could be easy for that to happen in this incredible arena against this incredible standard of opposition. Having had their lead wiped out, they just need to keep the head over the course of the next period.
Yeah, they do. I think that for the large parts, although Portugal have had, you know, almost all the possession, the chances they've created haven't been great ones, particularly in the second half. And that one there, it's good play because he changed the angle, but it's a bouncing ball into Fernandes. He's off balance. He just gets a decent enough connection. And again, Angus Gunn, for me, he should be keeping that out the back of the net. As you say, 2 hands to it, not strong enough to keep it out, but it wasn't a...
Yep, there's Ronaldo going for glory again from 22, 23 yards out. He was right-hand side of the D, left foot, he let fly, he goes well past that left-hand junction of bar and post, and it stays one apiece. This has been a difficult watch. It's been a difficult watch since the break.
Yeah, it has. It has. I think that Portugal have come out much the same as the first half and just dominated the ball, controlled the game. And I have to be fair as well, at times the decisions from people in possession have been poor.
Yeah, and there's another one. It was Lyndon Dykes giving it away this time. Diogo Jota picks up left-hand side of the Scotland box, level with the 6-yard line. Ronaldo and Semedo in the middle. It's pulled back the way. Neves gives it away, and Scotland try and come away with McTominay, with his old colleague at Man United. Ronaldo just showing there, you know, doing some good work to nick it back, and he's on his bike again, heading towards the box. McTominay was desperately trying to get up to at least the halfway line. Ronaldo, good work rate there from the 39-year-old. It's out on the far side with Leao, and then to Bruno Fernandes, who it wasn't even the, like as James said, the cleanest of hits from him either, which will frustrate the Scotland manager even more. To surrender the lead like that is disappointing. As Leao lays it back to Fernandes, infield there to Jota, and then Leao infield to Mendes, then infield to Neves, and he finds Antonio Silva. I haven't seen what the possession statistics been since the break, but it must be pretty close to 80-85. And Ralston's been beaten down the left, pulled back by Mendes, and it is blocked. And then it's going to be a throw into Scotland. I think Ralston with the ball forward. And you've got a second after 85. I was bang on then.
Spot on. Spot on. And I
feels
think
like that.
It does. It does. I think we had a little spell where we kept it well, worked it into the wide area, leading up to Andy Robertson, you know, making the decision to get booked. But since then, any time it's come in, it's been too hurried, it's been forced, not enough composure, and it's imperative that you're not going to dominate possession, but when you have it, take the sting out of the game a little bit, because it's been waves of attack, pressure, constant pressure from Portugal. And even though they're not throwing the ball into the box every time or trying to play that killer pass, your concentration levels have to be spot on. You're still working so hard just to shuffle across and try and close those gaps. You need a little reward, you need a touch of the ball.
Ronaldo earning his 214th cap tonight. He scored 131 times for Portugal. Luka Modric is earning his 180th cap for Croatia tonight, and he has scored to put them ahead against Poland, his 27th international goal. Croatia 1, Poland 0 in Osijek. Here in Lisbon, Scotland have released the pressure valve a little bit here. They've got up the pitch and they've got a free kick as well, midway inside Portuguese territory, maybe about 10 yards from this near side touchline for a foul on McGinn.
The thing is, we still have something to hold on to. We're drawing at the minute, we're not losing.
Draw's a great result here, isn't it?
There's still plenty of positivity, but just take a little bit more care with your pass, the decision making, and get back to, you know, how well it worked in the first half. It wasn't vintage, it wasn't, you know, sensational football, but at times the right decisions were made.
It is 1-1. We're approaching the hour mark. Scotland have a free kick and Billy Gilmore's over it. in an attacking position, right-footed to the edge of the box. It's flicked away by Antonio Silva on the 18-yard line. The loose ball might drop to McLean here. It did. Dykes goes after it as it bobbled out to this near side. Antonio Silva's been caught here by John McGinn, who wins Scotland a throw-in down on this near side, which he was trying to take quickly, but the referee isn't ready. He's got his right hand up to his right ear. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. He's now talking to a couple of players. McTominay's one of them. It might be Ruben Diaz is the other. And eventually it will be a Scotland throw-in level with the Portugal 18-yard line, but the Italian ref's coming out or over to this near side. He's talking to a couple of, well, one of the Scottish medical team, and Steve Clark's out there as well. I don't know what's happened here. And John McGinn is in dialogue with 2 or 3 Portugal players. It seems to be concerned about something. It's very difficult for us to know because we're so high up here in the stand exactly what's going on. The referee's, has he got ice on the side of his head? Has he been struck by something?
I don't know if it's something run into a player.
It might be that, yeah. Oh, he has.
And it's the worst one as well.
Grant
Hanley. It's the one you do not want to run into.
Yeah, he's okay. There's Signore Mariani who's in charge of this tonight. And it is Portugal getting the game back underway after Scotland's throw-in came to nothing. McLean has it. Goes back to Hanley and out to Ralston on the far side. And a better few minutes for Scotland. It's just eased what was going on up the other end of the park, and that's a lovely little run forward there by Gilmore. Now it's with McGinn out to this left-hand side for Robertson. Low ball into the box. Down goes the Scotland player inside the area. It was Gilmore left in the penalty spot. No penalty, says the referee, as McGinn tries to come forward. His run into the box is cut out though, and Portugal come away with it. James McFadden desperately seeking a replay of this incident with Gilmore in the Portugal box.
Yeah, but it looked, obviously I'm going to say it because I'm desperate for it to be a penalty, but it comes out to Andy Robertson. He goes to cross it first time. You think he's going to do the one we normally see, is bend it beyond the defence and allow Lyndon Dykes to go and attack it, but it's a short one to the near post area. Gilmore, I think, gets there in front. I don't know if it was Ruben Neves, whether there's enough contact, but it looked to me that Gilmore get the touch on the ball.
There's been no replay yet. The ball hasn't gone out yet, and it's Portugal in possession with Leao to Mendes, and then it goes through the legs of Bernardo Silva's little flick there, and Scotland pick up with McLean. He's done really well tonight, Kenny McLean. And it's drifted into midfield for McTominay, and now Gilmore gets it first time into the path of Christie to the right-hand side. Infield to Gilmore, just outside the centre circle, in the Portugal half. 63 played at 1-1. Out to the right-hand touchline it goes. Ralston's ball in's very good as well. And Antonio Silva puts it behind for the corner. And now finally we might get a chance to have another look at the incident the referee didn't deem a penalty.
Yeah, it's outstanding play. Nah,
he's got the ball.
It's really good defending.
Neves, yeah.
Really good defending. He gets the toe on the ball. Billy Gilmore obviously doesn't know that. He can feel the slight contact on him, but it's good defending, well timed, perfectly timed from Neves. But the play, the last 2 passes of play for Scotland have been really good. The chance leading up to Billy Gilmore getting in there starts with him in the middle of the park, showing that composure, driving forward, and that last one there, nice quick passing and movement. Great delivery from Ralston as well.
Short corner for Scotland, taken to Christie, faced by Semedo. He's managed to dig out the cross. There's nobody in Scotland colours at the back post, and it goes behind for the goal kick, which Portugal have taken quickly, looking for the pace of Leao. McLean goes down, and he's won the free kick from Rafa Leao. It's actually been a pretty good response to the equaliser going in, James, from Scotland.
Yeah, it has, and I think the last chance there, Christie probably takes everyone by surprise that he actually manages to get it in. It looks like he's going to lay it to the edge of the box, similar to the Kenny McLean delivery for McTominay, and then they can make the run, and he takes them all by surprise. A tremendous little cross
It's a long ball forward. McTominay's onto it, right-hand side of the box, drives into the area. McTominay onto the left. The shot's blocked, still alive though, and still inside the area. Chance to shoot. It's blocked again. Did it come off a hand? McTominay thinks so. The referee doesn't. Waving his arms frantically at the Scotland players. Says no penalty. That was a chance, and when it broke, I think, to Ryan Christie there, right-hand side of the box, he was shaping to shoot. It looked like the goal was gaping for him.
Yep.
And they've got a free kick here as well. McGinn's been fouled again, just to the left of the centre circle. Good spell in the game this for Scotland. 65 on the clock. Yeah, Portugal 1, Scotland 1.
It's a very good spell. Very good spell. Good play. Again, composure that we're looking for. Nah.
Midriff of Antonio Silva.
Antonio Silva. I don't know if they're claiming for it then. Rebounding off Nuno Mendes.
It's a couple of good decisions by the referee, isn't it? Particularly given he ran into Grant Hanley.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them getting one of those wrong though. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. There's no room for, there shouldn't be any room for error as Gilmour takes a free kick for Scotland. It's headed away the edge of the box. Ronaldo's giving it away to McKenna, and it's McTominay with a shot with the right foot, just held on to by Diogo Costa. Good effort by McTominay again. He is such a threat for the Scotland team. It stays one apiece in Lisbon.
That's good play again. Lose the ball, win it back quick. McTominay does his best to work an angle to get the shot away. It's maybe against him, but he gets good power behind it.
There's a long ball into the Scotland box. Gun goes down, so does the Portugal player. It is Diogo Jota who pulls it back to the 6-yard line, and it's blocked with Leao waiting to pounce. He's been able to knock it home into an empty net. Another really nervy moment there for Angus Gunn in his defence as Scotland come away in the counter with McGinn, who's fouled, and that's going to be a yellow card for Neves. He tried to take a quick one. McTominay will be glad that the ref wasn't ready, because his pass to Dykes was cut out anyway. That's a nervy moment for Scotland up the other end.
It was. Straight ball. Jota making the run, getting in behind, in between McKenna and Hanley. Angus Gunn makes a decision to come for it. And it's a big risk he's taking. Jota probably does him a favour by getting straight back up, which maybe tells you there wasn't any contact.
Really good from McKenna as well, the edge of the Portugal box, to nick it off Ronaldo and, you know, set up that opportunity.
Yeah, and actually I've just got a chance to see it again. Jota's trying to buy a penalty. He's thrown himself into Angus Gunn, trying to get a penalty.
Right, double change for Portugal. Bernardo Silva and Rafa Leao are coming off. Joao Felix, who has just returned to Chelsea, despite having a pretty disappointing loan there a couple of years ago. He's left Atletico Madrid to go there, and they are also bringing on Joao Neves. So, special cheer for Joao Felix, who was a Benfica player once upon a time. Gilmour takes the free kick to the right-hand side of the box. The header back towards the penalty spot, picked up by Ronaldo. Inside his own area, he gets it half away. Lovely little turn there by Christie. Right-hand side of the box, it's Ryan Christie winning the corner off Ronaldo, who again's apoplectic. He's slapping his hands in frustration. I think he's just annoyed that he gave the ball away inside his own box for the second time in 5 minutes.
I thought he was shouting at the ref there. I think he's complaining about something towards the referee, which I think potentially the only player on the pitch that would get away with remonstrating like that.
Well, the captains can remonstrate to a point because of the armband. Scotland corner though, one apiece, but in the final quarter of the game. It's a left-footed corner into the penalty area, right on top of the keeper. Diogo Costa gets it away with a punch, and then walloped clear by Diogo Jota and up towards Felix on this near side. Out comes Ralston to meet him, and he's done really. In fact, Ryan Christie came out to challenge Felix, and eventually goes out for the throw-in on this.
I think it's
near side. It was Billy Gilmour, yeah. So high up here.
Aye,
that's my excuse. No, I couldn't see the number.
You're spot on. You're spot on. Very difficult to see.
It's some vantage point. It's a brilliant stadium. Of course, Portugal lost the Euro 2004 final in this very stadium to Greece. Right to the first couple of chapters of the Ronaldo story. Need to wait 12 years before winning that tournament. Lovely little header from Dykes. Here's McTominay midway inside the Portugal half. No inferiority complex tonight for Scotland. Christie has it on the right hand side. He's challenged well. That's going to go out for a throw-in down by the corner flag over there. Despite the best efforts of Mendes, he smacks the ball off the digital advertising there and stopped working, I think, after he did that. Will be a Scotland throw round about level with the penalty spot of Portugal on the right-hand side. Taken short by Ralston to McTominay, and then back to Ralston, who wins the corner. It's been excellent tonight, Anthony Ralston's. Apart from giving away the penalty the other night against Poland, he was pretty good in that game too.
Yeah, I think he's done well. I think, you know, we recognise the quality of Rafael and the speed that he has, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about that if somebody's quicker than you. But he's actually done really well, dug in, stuck to his task. He's getting forward as well. This has been a really good spell for Scotland the last 15 minutes or so.
20 to play of the 90. Scotland corner, 1-1 in Lisbon. Flighted in, again the goalkeeper punches it away, it breaks to Ralston at the edge of the box, he fires it high over the bar, and it stays Portugal 1, Scotland 1. It remains Croatia 1, Poland 0 in the other game in the group in Osijek tonight. Luka Modric with the goal. Scotland's next opponents are the Croatians. That match taking place in the capital Zagreb next month, and then Portugal visit Glasgow. Scotland finish off at home to Croatia and away to Poland as the ball forward to Ronaldo, evades him. It might have been offside anyway. This comes through to Angus Gunn. So he's not made any changes yet, Steve Clarke. He'll probably be loath to do so right now because, as you say, the last 10-15 minutes have been as comfortable as they've been in the game.
Yeah, it's been a good spell. You can just see Ross McPhee speaking to Ryan Gall's definitely one of them.
It's Josh Doig, maybe one of the others.
I think so. So certainly it has been the better spell, but it's probably the time to bring a little bit of freshness on.
Here comes Semedo for Portugal down the right-hand side to the Portuguese goal scorer. Bruno Fernandes' cross is too close to Gunn, who clutches on his 6-yard line. He'll be very, very disappointed with the goal that he's let in tonight because he made a couple of really good saves in the first half. And it's actually now not necessarily a position where Scotland are as blessed as they have been in the past during Faddy's time there with Alan McGregor, Craig Gordon, David Marshall, all picking up loads of caps. Not one of them really had it for keeps. No pun intended.
No, it is. You know, we have been blessed in that department, and I think when Angus Gunn came into the side initially, most people felt that he could carry that on, but certainly over the last 6 months or so, there's been chances, goals scored again, so you're thinking he really should be doing better.
Scotland changes.
Struggling.
Who is?
Kenny McLean.
Kenny McLean is, yeah. So Ryan Gall's going to replace him, and Tommy Conway is going to come on for just his second cap. He was capped against Finland in the game before the European Championship. And McLean limping fairly heavily as he comes off. Ryan Gall comes on for his second cap as well. So Tommy Conway's moved from Bristol City to Middlesbrough, the club mate of Ben Dokes this season, the English Championship side. McLean is taking quite some time to get himself off the pitch here, but I mean, presumably it'll be Lyndon Dykes coming off here for Conway, so it is, Dykes comes off, so a chance to see what Tommy Conway can offer, but as you said, it's important freshness in the side.
Yeah, and you look at it, it's attacking. There's 2 attacking subs. This Scott McTominay will obviously go in beside Billy Gilmour. Ryan Gold and Conway, a chance, as you say, to see what he's got. You've seen him in brief spells in Bristol City, particularly in the West Ham games, looked really good, movement excellent, good finisher, and we're hoping they can get a chance.
He scored in both of those games, didn't he? In the FA Cup, in the replay. It's Scotland down the right-hand side, a bit level with the edge of the D of the Portugal box. One back goal by Mendes. Now it's shifted infield there to João Neves. Scotland win it back pretty quickly though. And McTominay digs the ball out to Robertson, left of the centre circle. Conway wanted it ahead of him. Robertson instead rolls it out to McGinn on this near side. And it comes back to Gilmour. He decides to go all the way back to his keeper. Ronaldo chasing it down. Gunn first time. Low ball to Hanley. And we're looking at this game, just over 15 minutes of the 90 to play. In 75 minutes that have been played, yes, Scotland have been under the cosh, but they've defended well. It's a part of the game you need when you come away from home to this kind of place against Portugal, a team like Portugal. But as things stand, they deserve someone out of the match.
Absolutely. They've had to defend, and we were slightly critical of some of the Portuguese finishing, but I think defensively first half was excellent. Angus Gunn for me should save the shot, and if he does, then we're talking about something totally different. But you spoke about it's important that there's a good reaction. I think the reaction to losing the goal has been outstanding. Some of the control that we've shown, the composure, some nice passages of play, definitely haven't been spooked by playing in this game against the quality opposition, and it's been a really good spell for Scotland of late.
Nelson Semedo is going to be replaced. The man whose place he took in the starting 11, Diogo Dalot, who scored both ends against Croatia. It's Conway wins it back for Scotland. He's done well there, and then McGinn wins the throw-in. Back off Joao Neves on this near side, and that's going to be a throw-in to Scotland. And the way they've been playing in the last 20 minutes, they might fancy getting themselves back in front in this game. They've certainly not been overawed down there at any point. I'm not sure what's going on. It's a foul throw or something from Robertson.
I don't know if he's taking it too advanced. He's still on too many yards.
Yeah, and the ref said, right, fine, it's a Portugal throw instead. Dalot of Manchester United bowls it back to Antonio Silva. Now it's with Ruben Dias. Takes it up towards halfway, crossing the halfway line. He's got a chance to slip it forward to Mendes instead. It goes wide left for Joao Felix on the left touchline. The Sky's ball there by Ruben Dias to Felix. One apiece in Lisbon. And Portugal with Antonio Silva rolls it out to this right-hand side for Dalot. Level with the Scotland 18. Low ball back to Joao Neves. Into the midfield for Ruben Neves. Slip back to Antonio Silva. Scotland in their positions here. Portugal have them pinned right back. It's with Ronaldo, left-hand side of the Scotland box. Shimmies onto the right. Low ball to Ruben Dias. Back out left for Mendes. To Joao Felix. To Ronaldo. To Joao Felix! Great save by Gunn. Wonderful build-up play. Gunn doesn't catch it. He's punched it away. He's dealt with it in the end. Good save with the feet. Outstanding back heel there by Ronaldo. The give and go between he and Felix was magnificent, and the Chelsea man's effort was saved. Here they come again with Mendes. Left angle of the box. It is Diogo Jota into the area. Now Mendes pulls it back, breaks to McTominay, and Scotland are able to get it clear out towards John McGinn on this near side. McGinn coming forward, claims he was fouled, and he'd gone down, he might have got a free kick. Antonio Silva out to Diogo Dalot on this near side. Dalot's low ball into the area for Fernandes, pulls it back to the 6-yard line, and it's clear by McTominay. And it was pretty much down to the fact that Joao Neves couldn't get the ball under control 6 yards from goal. It stays 1-1, but that looked like 2-1 Portugal.
Yeah, and I've said Angus Gunn should have saved the shot, but that's tremendous goalkeeping. Because, as you say, they play Felix with the little 1-2, Ronaldo with the back heel, and Angus Gunn comes out, closes the angle, spreads himself, makes a really good save with his left foot outstretched. And I know that he probably should catch it, but at least he clears the danger when he comes back with the punch.
Great defending by McTominay against Ronaldo, who was offside anyway. Will be a Scotland free kick, and again, it's just a chance to take a breather. 70, almost 79 minutes played. Portugal 1, Scotland 1. Nations League A, Group 1. Croatia 1, Poland 0 in the other game in the group. If Scotland can emerge from Lisbon with something, then they're still in the battle for top 2. Which should take you into the quarter-finals, the new quarter-final stage, the ridiculous stage that they've introduced, quite frankly, in March, which is causing all kinds of issues. The yellow card's just been shown there to Bruno Fernandes, and he's pretty upset about it, and he's having a little go at John McGinn too.
Yeah, and the fourth official. Keep going, Bruno.
He's asking
you're
for trouble.
Right. Don't let up. Keep going.
So he's got the yellow. He's not getting another one right now, despite Faddy trying to lure him into it. It will be a free kick to Scotland to be taken by Gilmer, level with the edge of the centre circle, right-footed into the Portugal box. It's flicked away. It's a good header away by Ruben Dias. He's gone behind for the corner. No, says the linesman, so throw-in only. Over on the far side for Scotland as we tick into the final 10 minutes of the 90 here in Lisbon, with the scoreline locked at 1-1.
It's a tremendous header from Ruben Dias. He's backpedaling. Grant Hanley's got the run on him. He gets up really well. He just takes it off his head.
Best centre-back in the world right now for you?
Yeah, I think he's
up there, isn't he?
Yeah, without doubt.
Scotland have it wide on the right from that throw-in. Christie's pass goes straight into touch though for a Portugal throw.
The two at Arsenal are very good.
Yeah, well, it's no surprise that it's those two teams that will probably be fighting for the title again this season.
Yeah.
Liverpool will have something to say about that too. As Portugal pick up over on the left.
Yeah, of course we have Van Dijk, who's still probably the man to beat for me.
And his teammates down there, Robertson and Jota. And it's Portugal with the ball, which is passed by Dalot all the way back to his keeper. Short ball to Ruben Dias. Takes it out from the back and up towards halfway. Over on the left-hand side. Now he's found Mendes on the touchline. No Rafa Leao anymore, of course. It's not exactly a massive downgrade with Joao Felix coming on, to be fair. And Mendes has made his run. The pass doesn't come. It's played to Joao Felix. He rolls at the edge of the box, looking for Jota. Scotland got it away half clear, but Ronaldo picks up and finds Dalot, right-hand side chip ball, header, good save. Ronaldo in the follow-up, and Angus Gunn keeps it out. The second one might have come off the post from Ronaldo. In comes the cross, breaks to Fernandes, left-hand side of the Scotland box, digs it in, Ronaldo heads it towards goal, it comes off the post, and Gunn somehow helps get it away. How on earth has that stayed out? It stays 1-1. Ronaldo's header looked destined for the far corner. I was just about to say Portugal had scored. And here they come again though. They've gone up a gear or two here of the home team. Fernandes on the left, crosses in, it's quite deep, and Robertson heads it behind for the corner. You see a couple of the Portugal players trying to whip the crowd into a frenzy, but Ronaldo, he was away celebrating.
Yeah, I thought it was going to just hit the post and bounce into the net. Great reaction from Angus Gunn, because Joao Felix is there to go and put it in the back of the net. He saves it. The first save he makes is outstanding. He's had some criticism, Angus Gunn. He should have saved the shot that goes in, but that is a tremendous save down to his left-hand side from the header.
There's another brilliant ball into the Scotland box from the right. It's headed away, and McTominay tries to help it on its way. The referee's blown his whistle. Scotland have a man down in the box. It's Ralston. Not sure if it was a head knock or not, but he's going to require some treatment here, and this is probably it's not a great thing for Ralston. It's probably a good thing from a Scotland point of view, that it just calms things down again, because Cristiano Ronaldo there thought he'd scored against the 48th different country in his international career. This is his first go at Scotland, and James has seen a replay of the second Ronaldo effort, which came off the post, and Gunn did brilliantly to react and get there before Joao Felix was going to steer it into the empty net.
Yeah, and on Ralston, Ronaldo just clambers up above him, jumps through the back of him. I don't think there's anything that serious. I think he knows exactly what he's doing, taking the sting out of the game, trying to get a stoppage.
This could be a long 6.5 minutes plus stoppages, folks. Scotland are 6.5 plus stoppages away from a priceless point in Lisbon. But Portugal come again. It's been shifted out there by Ruben Neves to the left. Now with Felix from Mendes. Out to the left-hand side it goes. Jota, Dalot, Ronaldo, all wait in the middle. In comes the cross, headed away by McKenna. Really good defensive performance from Scotland tonight. There'll be no clean sheet, of course, but you can take so much out of this as Conway puts the pressure on Antonio Silva, who does just enough to force it into the midfield. And Ruben Neves, and now it's Fernandes to the left-hand side. Portugal come again. Mendes driving down the left flank, early low ball in, and behind off Hanley for the corner. If Scotland are going to get a point out of this game, boy, they'll have earned it.
Yeah, without doubt. Defensively, it's been tough. It's been a tough night for them. having to constantly be watching. It's not just one player they're keeping an eye on, they're coming from everywhere. They're getting themselves down the line of crosses, they're putting blocks in. Angus Gunn's made some tremendous saves.
Portugal corner in towards the back post. It's headed towards goal, and Gunn has to almost slap it behind. A little bit unorthodox at times, Angus Gunn. Could he have caught that one?
Without doubt for me. I think he can. It's straight at him. Not a great deal of power on it. And he just scoops it over the bar. Yeah, he can catch it.
Ruben Diaz has caught that really well on his right foot. I thought he used his head. Seen the replay, it was a right foot effort at goal. And Gunn put it behind for the corner, which will be taken by Bruno Fernandes on this near side. It is an outswinging right-footed corner for Portugal as they attack the goal to our right. We're in the final 5. And it's back there to Dalot, to his clubmate Fernandes. His cross is poor. It's cut out by Robertson. Scotland are going to be making a change in a moment. Good skill by Dalot down the right-hand side. He's got his cross into the box, headed towards goal and over the bar onto the roof of the net by Ruben Neves. He's claiming corner. It's a goal kick only, and it stays Portugal 1, Scotland 1. And there will be a change. I think it's going to be
Morgan.
Lewis Morgan, yeah. We've still got another substitute interval after this one. Ronaldo's being spoken to by the referee. It will be Ryan Christie to be replaced by Lewis Morgan. As the clock ticks down, Ronaldo still having a go at the ref. I mean, he's always, his entire career, even as a youngster, he was always so animated, Ronaldo. Whatever he was doing, whether he was his goal-scoring exploits, the skill, the moaning, he's always, throughout his career, it's the way he behaves.
Yeah, I can never criticise people that moan at referees, because it'd be extremely two-faced.
Hypocritical.
Double standards would be off the charts, but yeah, it has been. Look, there's a frustration there because his header, like, I'm not saying he should score, but he will feel that should have been a goal for him. That's a chance. He's not really had too many opportunities, and hopefully that continues. So the frustration's there, but as you say, he's always done it. It's just something that maybe helps to keep that fire, and at 39 years old, he's not going to stop now.
And it's good play by Mendes down the left. He gets the ball in! Ronaldo's there! And he scores! Right on cue! Ronaldo does it again! One of the game's greats celebrates down by the corner flag. The Scotland players are absolutely crestfallen. They've been done in by yet another late goal, and this time it's the great Ronaldo who taps it into the empty net. Portugal will feel they deserve it. Scotland will feel they deserve something out of the game. But it looks like another defeat, and it will be back-to-back losses at the start of this Nations League campaign. Portugal 2, Scotland 1. Cristiano Ronaldo's 901st career goal, and first against Scotland.
But you just spoke about him, and you know how he's always, you know, moaning, complaining. It's an unbelievable cross into the box. Scott McKenna has no idea. I don't know. Well, he's in touch with Ronaldo, but then he doesn't follow him in. There's a great run and dive. I think it's Jota just in front of Angus Gunn at the near post, which means Gunn can't come and collect it, get something on it, and Ronaldo falling in at the back post. He's never missing from there. It is a sore one, but you have to say Portugal they've been the better side. We're looking at it from a Scotland point of view, saying we've dug in, the goalkeeper's made some good saves, we've put blocks in, we've defended crosses really well. There's only so long you can do that for against a team with this quality. Yeah, 901 goals in your career is ridiculous.
And as I said at the start of the programme tonight, James, whether it's realistic at the age of 39 or not, in his head, he's going for 1,000. It seems ridiculous at the age of 39 that he would be contemplating that. But over his career, he's been scoring 100 goals in the space of a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean,
2.5 years, I think, is the average.
Since he's turned 30, he's got over 400 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. You look at the way that he looks after himself, his passion to go and score goals, his frustration when it doesn't go his way. People look at it and say it's petulance. This is what drives Cristiano Ronaldo. He wants to be the best. He's just scored his 901st goal and the celebrations are just, you know, as big as when he scored his first, his 10th, his 500. Yeah. It's just the motivation.
Andy Robertson's won a corner though, up the other end. We're in the 90th minute. Scotland suddenly trying to find a second goal that could potentially take a point home, but Portugal, having just got that lead, will not be wanting to surrender at any time soon. 5 minutes are being added. We're into the first of them. In comes the corner from Gilmore. It's knocked half away to round about where the penalty spot is. The ref sees a push and blows for the Portugal free kick inside their box. And it's Portugal 2, Scotland 1. We're in the first of 5 minutes of stoppage time added on at the end. I mentioned just before he scored, that's Scotland are the 48th different country that Cristiano Ronaldo has scored against. It's his 132nd goal for Portugal on his 214th cap. And he scored the winner against Croatia on Matchday 1 as well. And you're trying to say that they don't need this guy anymore.
Well, look, I think that you look at the chances they created in the first half, for me, they would have taken them. The only thing I would say is they've probably not created as many in the second half when being on the pitch. Is that down to maybe the threat of Rafa Leao going off and just the different changes to the team? But you know, when he gets a chance, more often than not, he takes them.
Ben Doak's come on for Scotland just while all that was going on. And I think he's replaced John McGinn, as it was McGinn yet, and Conway putting pressure on the goalkeepers. It came back to him, and Antonio Silva returns it to the keeper, who then shifts it to Ruben Diaz. Kind of other defenders would have panicked there, but he pushes the pass into the Mendes, and now Joao Neves driving forward down the left and finds Joao Felix at the left angle of the box, finds Fernandes, chops onto the left, and just nicked away from him by McTominay. And Ben Doak picks up on the near side, and Ronaldo comes back and knocks it off him. The work rate's incredible. He really has stepped up in the second half. He came on at the break for the start of the second half, and he's covering so many blades of grass out there defensively as well there.
It's absolutely remarkable. The professionalism of Ronaldo is something we've never seen before. To be going the hunger and the drive at 39, to want to go and be the main man still is quite incredible. You mentioned, you know, the World Cup will probably elude him. He'll be playing at the World Cup, there's no doubt for me. He'll make sure he's available at the World Cup.
I guess it's only 2 years away, isn't it? And, well, we'll wait and see. That is the one that he wants, isn't it? He's got everything else. 5 Ballon d'Ors, 5 Champions Leagues, 2 Super Cups, won the European Championship, the Nations League, 3 English Premier League titles, 2 La Ligas, 2 Scudettos. Storied career, and he's broken Scottish hearts here in the Portuguese capital tonight. And it's with Mendes on the far side, plays it off Ralston and out for a Portugal throw-in. Over there, Steve Clark looks like a figure of frustration down there. In fairness, the Scottish goals lived a charmed life in the second half in particular.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so long you can keep them at bay, and you know, as I said, you need to ride your luck. You need players having the game of their lives, and look, I think that every single Scotland player has performed very, very well tonight in tough situations, because the amount of ball that Portugal have had, the amount of opportunities they've created, the different angles of attack, the different types of, you know, attacking phases that Portugal have shown.
Here comes Scotland though. McTominay, we've got about a minute and a half left. He's pulled back to McTominay, he's at the edge of the box. He shoots, he'd options as well. His effort's blocked by Ruben Neves, and Scotland get the corner, I think, over on the far side. In fact, the flag's gone up, I think, for an offside against one of the Scotland players over there, and that's going to be a free kick to Portugal. And there's only a minute left, and for just a moment there, James McFadden's eyes lit up as Scott McTominay picked up at the edge of the area. Into the box he went. He decided to shoot. Yeah,
he takes it on his right foot and again narrows the angle, but Ryan Gould's at the edge of the box and acres of space. If he can just get his head up, find the reverse, then Gould's hitting a shot from 18 yards, unopposed, straight in the middle of the goal. But look, you can't begrudge Scott McTominay for how many big moments he's had in the last few years.
No, absolutely. And he's at home in this company. A few of them in Scotland shirts out there certainly are. And Ryan Gold picks up on the left-hand side, gets the cross in. Scotland lead for one last chance, but it's headed away, and Bruno Fernandes picks it up and shifts it to Joao Felix. And now it's forward to Jota. Fernandes wants it down the left, and he's in loads of space. Wasn't a great ball, but he's onto it now. Ronaldo's stealing it to the back post. There's a pitch invader as well, as Robertson puts it behind for the corner. But there is a pitch invader down there trying to get a photograph with Ronaldo. He's being wrestled to the ground by stewards. I mean, I just don't know what goes through people's heads when they want to invade the pitch during a match. There's only one outcome.
At any point, but especially when it puts off the star man. Ronaldo's running into the back post. I mean, he might be a Scotland fan, I don't know, trying to stop the attack, but he certainly isn't a Scotland fan. That was a joke in case I get into trouble there. But yeah, I know, I get it, the pull that he has, and people just want to get next to him, but they're on the attack and someone's trying to run on, and I don't know, what does he expect is going to happen?
Exactly. Short corner for Portugal. We played the 5 minutes, it's all over. The Portuguese fans celebrate. Late Harkey for Scotland again. These late goals costing them dear, as it did in Stuttgart against Hungary, as it did against Poland last Thursday. It's happened again tonight, having led here in Lisbon through McTominay's header on 7 minutes. That was the half-time scoreline as well. And Portugal brought Ronaldo on at the break, and it made all the difference. They were level within 9 minutes of the restart. Bruno Fernandes with a shot at the edge of the area, squirmed away from Angus Gunn. He has to do better. He made loads of other saves tonight, Gunn, to redeem himself. But as the clock ticked towards a priceless point in Lisbon for Steve Clarke, up popped Ronaldo. The ball was fizzed across. Joao Felix missed it. Ronaldo was there, having earlier hit the post and drawn a save or two out of Gunn. He was never making a mistake from 2 yards out, and he thumped it into the net. And that was it. There were only 6 minutes left, roughly, of the 90 minutes at that point for Scotland to try and force something, but it's bitter disappointment. It's back-to-back defeats at the start of Nations League A Group 1. A tall order to finish top two now. Croatia have reacted to their defeat here the other night by beating Poland. So Scotland sit at the foot of the table on 0 points, with a trip to Zagreb up next. It finishes here in Lisbon. Portugal 2, Scotland 1.
Scotland in the UEFA Nations League.